Hi Scoots, I'm Inksight and this feathered agent of chaos is Blot. And welcome back to my channel. In this episode I'll be drawing Max, who is the winner of my subscriber milestone surreal portrait giveaway. For anyone new here and mildly confused, when I hit 100 plus subscribers I hosted a giveaway where you guys filled in a form with your details, your vibes, animals you resonate with, basically everything you wanted to be incorporated into your artwork, and one winner would get a fully rendered surreal portrait in my Rework style. Will you be doing this for future milestones? Most definitely, and I'll be putting up the same form and everything. Great, when's your next milestone then? Oh, right, yeah, next stop is 500 subs, so if you're not already subscribed, you know what to do. Alright, let's get into the thumbnails. Since this isn't based on an old piece like my usual reworks, I start completely from scratch with some rough thumbnails to get the ideas flowing. In the form, Max mentioned that he connects with either a phoenix, an Australian magpie, or a stingray as the animal to incorporate into the piece. So of course I did options using all three of them. For the phoenix option, I had the tail feathers trail through the top of the hair, then cascade down through the side with its body resting at the bottom of the neck. I actually quite like the flow of this one. For the magpie concept, I drew two magpies flying out of the hair like they're emerging from it, and one perched casually on his shoulder, and I feel the comp for this one is really strong. And then for the stingray option, I had two swimming out from the side of the hair and one stretching across the bottom of the neck. I'm not gonna lie, I adore stingrays, so this and the magpie option are definitely the ones I'm leaning towards. I sent all three options through to Max so he could be a part of the decision making process since this is essentially his artwork. He ended up choosing the magpies because he has a stronger personal connection with them, though he did like the other two as well. And honestly, I completely agree with his choice. Though I will be using the stingray concept for another piece at some point because I really love their composition. One small challenge I did have with this piece though is that this is my first time doing this style on someone with short hair. Usually I rely on long flowy hair to carry the landscape and the animals, so I did have to exaggerate his hair slightly to make the concept work. Not too drastically, just enough to give me some space to play with, and I think it turned out pretty well. With the thumbnail chosen, I refined the sketch by adding his facial details and incorporating a eucalyptus tree into the hair. From what I understand, magpies often nest in eucalyptus trees, so it felt like a fitting environmental element to include, even though it's quite a small detail that you can't really see. With the refined sketch done, it's time for color tests. I did three options and I was immediately drawn to the first and the third. The blue looks really cool, but in the end I really prefer the vibe that the green and red one gives. And when I sent them to Max, he pretty much had the same thoughts that I did, that the blue one looks great, but the red and green palette just complements everything better and feels more cohesive overall. So red and green it is. Next up, render tests. I tried two lighting setups. One is more soft and more even, and the other is more dynamic with relatively stronger contrast and directional light. I ended up choosing the more dynamic option because it just added more depth to the piece. From there, I played around with the rendering of the hair texture, which is a sort of feathered floral pattern thingy, which I thought was a cool concept to try out, and then also refining the magpies and the feathers at the bottom. Then it's time for the cleanup. There were quite a few line work colors in this one, so as usual I separated everything that needed to be a different color. The skin line work became this warm sepia brown, the hair and the lower feathers I made a deep dark red, and for the magpies and Max's eyes I used a dark teal. This is how that looks with the flat colors, and now it's time for the final render. Add some color to the face, lighting and shading, textured hair, flying birdies, and done! Okay, wait, and done! I honestly had so much fun with this one, and if you're wondering about those little last minute tweaks, I wasn't fully happy with how the top section of the hair was sitting and how the background inside the hair kept getting lost, so I made some changes and now I think the composition just breathes better and flows a lot more naturally. As for the name, I decided to go with Magpie since I felt that it obviously fits this piece really nicely. A huge thank you to Max for trusting me to draw him, and congratulations again on winning the giveaway. I really hope you love your portrait as much as I loved making it. And a big thank you as well to Warso.M for lending me their OC for the interaction portion of this video. I've linked the socials for both Max and Warso in the description, so please go show them some love and support. Since this wasn't a rework, there's nothing to mark off on the board this time, but once again let me know which piece I should do next, or if you have a completely new idea for a piece like this. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.